Welcome students, Tom Harmer here, your accounting professor, and this is an instruction video on how to use Excel. Excel is required in the business world, and if you don't know it, this is the place to start. This is a very basic instruction. What you learn here is everything you need to know for this class. So when you come into the Excel spreadsheet, you see this upper left section here is instruction area. This is the data that you're going to be manipulating, and then down here towards the bottom, bring this down, come on guy, this is what it should look like when you're done. Okay, so this is an example of what you're going to do with these numbers here, and you notice these are the same numbers as down here. This is what it'll look like when you're done. The commands that we're going to learn how to copy cells. We're going to learn how to align tabs and do alignment and justifying, changing column and row widths and heights, using the borders formatting tool to do grids and underscoring and thicken borders, and how to create numeric formats with dollar signs and without. We're going to learn math functions, how to use the Autosum Tool, and how to create formulas. With all of this information, you'll be able to do financial statements, which are required in the various assignments that we have in our accounting projects. I have a demonstration video up here, which you're watching now. This is on manipulating the data and doing the Excel formatting. This one here is on how to format an Excel file for printing. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. So what we have across the top, this, in the case up here at the top, this is all of our different commands that we can use, and there's far more than we'll be using here. So we'll start right off here. We want to duplicate what we see down here with these numbers here, and you can see I've got a row here that says solution, column A, B, A plus B, and A minus B. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to go solution, colon, tab, 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 A, B, A plus B, and A minus B. Okay, now in all of this work here, one thing that we do is this grid pattern that we have here, we want to have up here. You notice that there is no grid in this solution row, but there are grids everywhere else. Okay, so one of the issues here in Excel is that the grid will overwrite anything else. So there we go. There is my grid area. So I'm going to come up here. You notice I'm coming up here to where it says font. This is the borders. This is all of the different borders, and I want to do the all border grid. Click. Okay, you do that first because any other underscoring or whatever you've done, if you put the grid on later, it'll overwrite all of that. Let's do our formulas. Okay, so we have a total here, 988,829. Let's look at how to create that formula. I click on the box where I want the formula, and I come up here. This is the Autosum Tool. Okay, if I just click on that, boom, you see it grabs the nearest blocks of numbers, and if I hit the enter key, boom, there it is. There's my formula. You see it says sum D14 through D21. Okay, now we called it column A, but you see the Excel references are based on here. This is column D, and this is 14 right there. So this, if I click on here, you see that is D14. Okay, and this right here is D21. So I've got the formula there. Now one thing we see down here is we have a solid thickened underscore here. In accounting, an underscore means that the number below it is the summary of the numbers above it. So there's your thick bottom border. I've come down here, click on thick bottom border, and you see there's my single underscore. So there's my formula. Now I want to have that same formula here and here. A couple of ways to get that. One is using the Control C I mentioned here. If I do hold on my Control key and hit the C, and then let go. You see it's highlighted that box to copy. Now I can come over and click on this box and hold down my left button on my mouse, and I can drag. I let that go. I've highlighted where I want to copy. Now I hit the enter key, and it's copied that formula to the next box. You notice here it's sum E14 to E21. Here it's D14 to D21. So when you copy formulas, they keep a relative positioning on their formulas, okay? Now there's nothing here yet. The formula's there, but there's no numbers there, okay? Now let's do the A plus B. This is where we use the Autosum. Oh, and one other thing on that Autosum. Let me come down here and show you here. If I click on Autosum here, you see it doesn't grab any numbers nearby. If it did, then, but I can come over here and drag over that same block of numbers, hit the enter key, and you see I've got that same exact number. So the Autosum function you can put anywhere in a spreadsheet and go grab the block of numbers you want to have it add up. So there you go. That's the Autosum. Now we're going to use formulas to create an equation. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go equal. So whenever you hit the equals key like that, it tells Excel, okay, I'm expecting a formula. So now I use my right arrow and I come over to A. And then I hit the plus sign, and then I come over to B. Okay, so you see that? There's my formula. D14 plus E14, enter. And there you go. So there's that. Now I want to do a formula A minus B equals, and I can just click on it, A, and then minus B, boom. And so that's A minus B. Now, let's copy those formulas down. If I highlight that, I can do the Control C. I can go Control C and then drag this down here, and that'll copy it. But look at all those pound signs. I'm going to show you how to get rid of those here in just a second. I'm going to undo that, and to undo anything, I go Alt, E, and then U for undo. Okay? So now, you see I'm ready to copy here. If I go boom, boom, you see there's a little black box right there. If I put my cursor there and drag that black box down and let go, boom, it copies it again too. So that's two ways to copy. One using Control C and one using the little corner. Now these pound signs are there because the column is not wide enough for the numbers that are in it. So we have to know how to change the width of a column. Okay, so I come up here to G, and you see how my cursor changes with a little double arrow? I hold on the left button on my mouse and I drag this to the right, and there, you see, now they show up. Okay, now by the way, I've lost my underscore there. I'm going to come back, click on that, so now I have my thickened underscore there. Good. Now down here I have a dollar sign. So if I click here and I want to, this is where you change all your different number formats up here. I mean, there's all kinds of number formats that you can grab. But I'm just going to go click on the dollar sign. Okay. Now it defaults to 2 decimal places, but you notice in our exercise here, there's no decimal places. So to get rid of those decimal places, I click on it, and I come here and I go right click. You see, this is decreasing the number of decimal places. This is increasing, okay? So that'll bring it to 0. Now, and it wants dollar sign down here too, so I click on dollar sign, right click. You see that dollar sign also, because with the decimal points, boom, boom, see, it doesn't fit anymore. I get rid of those decimal points and it fits. Okay, so now we got that. All right, so let's continue with duplicating here. Now you notice these are all in bold and they're centered. Okay, so I'm going to click on the whole row. I'm going to come up here to font. I'm going to click on bold, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on center. See, so now they're centered over each column. Okay, so I didn't want to see that one there, but okay, there we go. So now we're getting closer. Now I've got a thickened border around this thing here. Down here, see that thickened border all the way around that? I come up here to borders, thick box border, click, boom. So now I have that, and now I have down here a thick box border around the whole thing. So I can come around this whole thing, thick box border again, boom. See, if I did these thick box borders before I did my grid and then entered my grid, the grid would erase all the thick box borders. So there you go. Looking good there. Now down here it says column totals. So we go, oops, I got my caps key on. Column totals, and then space, space, crossfoot, okay? So this is my column totals. Now I have a double underscore under that. You see, in accounting, we do a lot of single underscores and a lot of double underscores. The double underscore means that's the bottom line. That number is not being added to anything below it. The single underscore means that the number below the single underscore is a summary of the numbers above. Okay, so we want a double underscore here. So I come up to borders, bottom double border, click. There we go. So we got that. Now we have this crossfoot thing. You see, these all add down. But we want to verify that the formulas here actually include all of these numbers. So what we'll do is I'll go here, I'll go equals to create a formula, and I'll go click on this total here, and I hit the plus sign, and then that guy, boom. And you see, the total of these two columns should equal the total of all of these, which are the total of the individual rows. So that crossfoots. Now here equals a, then the minus sign, see the minus sign there, just hit that, next one, and then enter. So that's a minus b, so that ties. Okay, so there we go. We followed instructions using the formatting tools equations on data rows 14 through 21 to fix and duplicate the solution shown in 26 through 37. So here's our rows here, 14 through 20 and 14 through 21. That was our data. We've manipulated that, and we now have duplicated the appearance of what we had down here. Okay? Use the border tool to add the border grid and other formats in the example. Configure for print formatting and landscape mode. So now, to check your print formatting, you just hold on the control key and hit P. Control P. That shows how you're formatted. Okay, so right now I'm just getting this upper box. I don't have any of the work I've done here. So I hit the escape key and I come back, and I'm going to go to from home to page layout, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to highlight the area I want to print. It says configure to print one page landscape, columns A through H and rows 1 through 38. So here's column A, row 1 through H down to 38. There's row 38. Okay, I come up to page layout, I go to set print area, and here we are after defining the print area but nothing else. Let's take a look at what we have. I do a control P and that brings up what we have so far. Now if you see on this sidebar over here, I can page through this document. So there's the second page, there's the third page, there's the fourth page. This, what we've highlighted, prints on 4 pages with this enormous border that it has. That's not what we want, so let's go back and continue. So this is how we continue. We're in page setup, we define the print area, now we come to this lower right corner here, page setup, and we click on that. Boom. There we go. Here we can define page orientation and scaling and paper size, whatnot, margins, header, and sheet. Okay, we'll take it one at a time. We want to go to landscape. Okay, that was required. Okay, 100% ended up on 4 pages. We want to fit to 1 page wide and 1 page tall. So there we got that defined. Okay, and we go to margins. Look at that. We wanted margins at 1/2 inch. That's 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 and 0.5. So there's our margins, 0.5. Okay, now also it's nice to have it centered horizontally on the page, okay? And then you can also do that vertically too, okay? But we won't bother here. So let's go to the next one. Header, footer. You're going to be renaming this file, last name, first name, Excel. And when you print it or when you save it, that will show your name at the bottom of the page, which is what I want. Okay, so right now it's showing the file name that it's saved under up here. And this last section here on sheets, that we're not going to use in this because we are only printing a one-page report. When we get into our accounting program where we have multiple pages, we'll be using this section here. But in the meantime, let's do a print preview of what we've just defined. Okay, so here we go. There we go. There's our half-inch margin up here. And there's the full area that we defined. Okay, and it is in landscape. And so this is a correct solution to print formatting as requested in the instructions. So you don't have to print it. You can just save that, and then I will be reviewing that print format when I check your work. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention here is tabs. Across the bottom here, see, we're in the practice tab. That's where you're actually doing your practice assignment. Here's the solution tab here. This is showing you what it should look like when it's all done. And here is called a cheat sheet and training. Well, you're not really cheating here. This is just shortcut. So here, this is giving you a list of the control commands, and you'll find it, rather than finding and going through and looking for the commands that are available up in all of these drop-down menus, it's easier, the common ones, is to know the keyboard instructions for copying. Okay, and so I'll be going through some other ones of those later on, but this is and this also has Excel training videos here if you want to keep learning more Excel. Okay, and I'm just showing you here. Here's the borders formatting. I put a little arrow there. Here's text alignment for centering, right justified, left justified, text wrapping, merge and centering text and cells, and numeric formats, etc. Okay, so you see there. Okay, so those tabs across the bottom here are available in all spreadsheets, all Excel spreadsheets. So there you go. We have covered what we wanted to here and the commands that we need for doing the accounting project that you're going to be doing and any other Excel assignments that I give. You now how to use the Autosum tool for formulas and also using the equal sign to create your own formulas. And you know a little bit about print formatting. The next section on print formatting here will be something you want to look at before we start the Evans accounting project. And that's a great project coming up. So thank you for your time here in this Excel practice. So you can move on from here and do the Excel quiz. And we shall proceed. So thank you very much, students. Take care.